Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Trending Now right here on TVC Breakfast. My name is Nelson Eta, again in for Olamide. Let's begin with this sad story where in Asaba, what began as a steady rain quickly turned into a flood. The downpour, which lasted several hours, overwhelmed drainage systems and flooded major roads, homes and business premises across key areas in the state. Eyewitnesses say vehicles were swept away, shops were damaged, and residents were forced to evacuate as the water level rose rapidly. While no casualties have been confirmed, the extent of property damage is significant, with many calling for urgent government intervention. Many are also left wondering how many more floods before something changes. Now let's see what Nigerians were saying about this particular disaster right here. Eze says every single time it rains in Asaba, this is how it is everywhere, including the mall. That includes ShopRite and all other fancy stores. Did this not start today? Or this does not start today. It has been on for years and nothing has been done about it. A sad one, very sad if this is, a consistent trend. All right, another conversation. The extraordinary yo. That's a wonderful one. Okpanam Road is always terrible the moment there's a little rain. This, I'm sure the people are trying to, get across to the government to say, let's look at this. And finally, on this matter, is Tinubu that will fix this, right? Okay. Nigerians, hold your state governor accountable. They are the closest arm of government to the people. I could not agree less, Etoma, Veronica, and Ibrahim. The governor is the closest to his people. Why is this still lingering?
Something like flood shouldn't be a yearly event. In fact, it's not an event, it's a disaster, all right? When you keep having floods at every rainy season. Asaba is located along the tropical rainforest belt of Nigeria. That means the rains are heavy and the tendency of flood happening is very high. And it has happened several times before. So I put this squarely on the governor of Delta State for not taking precautionary measures. We have other states that have done that no matter how much rain falls in Calabar, for example. I always want to talk about the one I know. 20 minutes later, everywhere is dry because of the fantastic drainage system that was developed there. So it's squarely on the governor.
Yeah, and Veronica, from some of the tweets we just read there, the people are saying that this has become a consistent happening around this particular kind of season. Is it that the government are not aware of this issue?
Well, the awareness of government on any issue is not something. It's a shame if we are saying that the government is not aware. There is a commissioner in the state that is supposed to be aware of anything that is going on. And so what are the efforts they have put in place to ensure that the state is not in the state that it finds itself right now, talking about flooding. NIMET had been talking about how some states are prone to flooding at this time. What did they do with that information? How have they worked hand in glove with the state's NIMET to addressing, or NEMA also to addressing this issue, and also ensuring that those who are at the low-lying areas are moved upwards, and then every other thing, the drainage systems are cleared, every other thing that needs to be done. I think we should not just put the blame on the table of government, but that people need to also work hand in glove with government. Man's activity is also contributing to the level of flooding. Are the drainage channels blocked? Government will not go to all the drainage channels and be throwing debts and ensuring that those channels are blocked. They have to clear it out. But who are those throwing those things in there? So a lot of things, conversation has to be done, creating awareness and also ensuring that people understand that right now, matters of climate change must be taken seriously and the preparations have to be done.
Ibrahim, if you look at this video we're watching right now, see the volume of water. And Vera is talking about, the people working in partnership with the government not to allow this to be. What do you think the people could actually do to curb this?
She already mentioned them, be very responsible when it comes to the way you deal with your waste. even if you have refuse dump, you have to ensure that when you want to dump that waste, you dump it directly into the refuse. And when it's filled up, make sure it is evacuated as soon as possible. The government, certainly they are aware, they know everything that is happening within their states or their jurisdiction, except that they feign ignorance, which is not what we expect them to do. We do not expect the federal government to fix what the state government or the local governments should fix themselves, or the local councils. So one thing is the climate change, she mentioned it, we'll be expecting more rains, and looks like the rains are just starting out. Yesterday it rained heavily on the island, and it didn't even rain on the mainland, and it's quite different. So I don't know, maybe today it will now be the mainland's turn until we get there. So we need to be very, very responsible when it comes to the way we deal with our waste. And the governments need to, live up to their own responsibility or responsibilities, as well as we expect the citizens themselves to be patriotic enough and be responsible enough to do things right.
Now, I'm just wondering if it's about, responsibility on the side of the people as per usage of the drainage system, or it is the volume of the drainage that has been provided in such areas to carry the volume of water that is experienced in this place. But thank you guys for doing
Sorry, Nelson, before you go, we do not want to see the same experience as we saw in Mokwa, where we have hundreds of people losing their lives and hundreds declared missing. We do not want that to be repeated anywhere in the country, no longer. So the government should do the right thing.
Indeed, I couldn't agree less, Ibrahim. And let us get to our next conversation. A Kano State High Court sitting as presided over by Justice Miriam Sabo, a sentenced one Aminu Mohammed to death by hanging for the gruesome murder of a 3-year-old girl, Rafiatu Junaidu, in 2018. The judgment delivered by Justice Sabo brings to a close a protracted legal battle that began 7 years ago. Following the horrific killing that shocked residents of Jiba village in Bebeji local government area, court records indicated that Aminu lured little Rafiatu from her home to a nearby farm where he strangled her. It was added that in a further act of extreme violence, he used a broken bottle to slit open her abdomen and removed her intestine. Disturbing revelations also emerged during the proceedings that Aminu was allegedly promised 400,000 naira by an unidentified individual to carry out the killing. While describing the act as inhumane and brutal, Justice Sabo emphasized in her ruling that the sentence should be served as a deterrent to others, underscoring the court's commitment to ensuring justice, especially in cases involving the murder of minors. This is an extremely sad story. But we'll take our next story. Again, social media influencer Terinabo Solu, also known as Tari, has taken to Instagram in tears, sharing the heartbreaking aftermath of what she calls a sudden and traumatic eviction and demolition of her rented apartment in Lagos. In a video she posted online, it shows the ruins of her home flattened with debris scattered where memories once stood. According to her, there was no meaningful notice before bulldozers arrived, leaving her and other residents with no time to prepare or relocate. While authorities are yet to comment on the demolition, the incident raises fresh questions about how eviction orders are carried out and who bears the burden. Let's show you this video.
I knocked on the door and told me that I should pack my things, that they are coming to demolish the house in the next 5 minutes. No prior notice, nothing. My landlord did not even inform me. I called my landlord. He picked once and I told him. And I kept calling him. He has not picked my call till now. My things are outside. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't have anywhere to go. I don't even have money to get a new place because my rent is supposed to expire in March.
Now, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie has spoken to women about the importance of choosing wisely when making a decision about who to marry. The author asked women not to be pressured into choosing a man whom they clearly see is not right for them. She asked them to avoid settling when it comes to the decision of who would be their husbands. The Dream Count author, who is in Nigeria on a book tour, said it's so important for a woman to have what she does, for a woman to have her own, just a sense of self-fulfillment. Have something that you're doing, doesn't mean it doesn't matter what it is, and do it well. She continued, it's really important who you choose. Young women, choose wisely. Sometimes as young women, you can tell that the person you're with is not right or really a good person, but you're desperate to just get married. You're desperate to have somebody who is your partner. Don't settle. Be very careful who you choose. The person you choose as your life partner will make a huge difference in your life. Let's see what Nigerians were saying about this very one right here. Mfon Abia. Excellent talk, ladies. Young ladies, please do not settle. Choose wisely. Of course. I'm sure they've been doing that for a while now. Blessing says, I will choose well by God's grace. And that's fine on that. Etoma, Veronica, and Ibrahim, from the first conversation we saw and this right here, I'm still wondering what will make a full-blown adult get attracted to a minor. I don't understand.
A promised 400,000 is enough for somebody like Aminu Mohammed. You've not seen the 400,000 and you kill a 3-year-old in such very brutal manner. It just goes to show that Aminu Mohammed is wearing a human body, but he is actually, I don't know if I have the permission to use this word because it's really strong, is actually a monster. A monster. I actually wanted to use the B word, but let me hold it. You know, it is really sad that somebody can do that for a promised 400,000 naira. So he got the sentence that he deserves. And what baffled me about the case is that it lasted 7 years for them to come to this point. If I was the judge, it would have lasted 2 weeks.
Indeed.
And I'm telling you, you take that decision and you go home and sleep very well. Demolition of Atari's home. I know there is a law to that. Notice should be given for at least 6 months before something like that happens. Now, when it does happen, residents of the house will say, we didn't have a notice. But when you go to the government will say, we gave them notice, and they'll show you a letter. So it's a communication thing. I think the notice is not enough. You should sing the demolition notice over and over again to the residents of that house. That could help. Chimamanda Adichie, choose wisely. I wonder how you choose wisely. When it comes to getting married, women are expected to choose wisely. Men are expected to choose wisely. It's a two-way street. So at the end of the day, my advice is that the only person that really can choose wisely for you is upstairs.
Upstairs where?
you know the upstairs I'm talking about.
I would say that the person that can help you, man in himself, do not know how to make the right choices. That's the truth. Because there are different things that influence our choice. But God Almighty can help you make the right choice. I believe that's what Etoma is trying to say. Just as he was also helped to make the right choice. I'm sure I'm making the right statement. Anyway. Talking about the matter of Tari, it's a rented apartment, and she also mentioned in that video that she called her landlord and the man just gave perhaps flimsy excuses, that's in quote now, and didn't say much. So the engagement she's to have is with the landlord, the owner of the house. She has to speak with, that's the person that the government will speak with, not the tenants, because the person is the owner of the house. That's right. So if the owner of the house did not communicate with them, then it is the landlord's problem and not government. We need to begin to separate issues and situate matters appropriately. That's right. Let's stop dragging government into everything. Did government pass that information across to the landlord? If they did, then the landlord in question is at fault here. The unfortunate incident in Kano, I am happy that justice has been done at the end of the day. Unfortunately, this cannot bring closure to the families, but to an extent, something would happen because they would see this person going to prison at the end of the day. It's sad, but we need to begin to see, even if the money, if he had seen the money, why would you kill someone else? It's a human in the first place. This milk of human kindness should flow through us, at least. For whatever it is, money should not be a motivation. Nothing should even be a motivation for you to kill someone.
It is so sad, and thank God he got the sentence that he deserved. So the fact that justice delayed, justice denied, so they say, but this time it's not denied, but it's just delayed. But why do we have to waste time? But they will say, yeah, we need to do our proper investigation. So the person that also promised 400,000 naira, because this guy has gotten his sentence, but the person that promised 400,000 naira, I'm not sure whether we have any information about whether he or she, has the person been arrested, how many people has he or she offered to give whatever paltry sum of money, or even if it is huge, to take someone's life. So it means that this person is either an organ trafficker, taking out someone's intestine is out of this world. So they should also arrest the person if he or she has not been arrested, investigated, and dealt with decisively. The demolition of property in Lagos and the lady crying, Veronica said it all. The communication must have been between the landlord and the government. If not, that's another thing. So is the landlord that should be, or even the agent or the caretaker, because sometimes some people would know that this building is in distress, or there is a question mark on this building, and then they will still keep renting out this same apartment. Lagos State needs to needs to act very fast or very well, so that they arrest these Shylock landlords, these shady people, involved in shady dealings. The last story has to deal with
Chimamanda.
Yeah, Chimamanda. Yes. So the fact that some people are married and then they have problems in their marriage, they separate, they divorce, doesn't mean that they didn't ask God, they didn't consult God. Sometimes things happen. It's just for our own knowledge, just test, trial. It doesn't mean that God doesn't answer our prayers, but this is not taking away the fact that you should also use your brain, because God has given us this 6 cents. Well, he gave us the 5 cents and the 6 cents. He also gave us to also reason as humans, ask questions, have a conversation with the bride or groom to be. Yes, so that is where God comes in, but also do your own due diligence.
Well, that's a good advice for every single man and woman out there. Thank you guys for doing justice to this. But
finally,
as we go, do you have any interesting perspective you'd like to share? Please tag us on Trending Now TVC on any social media platform. We will be listening.
Thank you, Nelson, for bringing us those stories. This is where we have to draw the curtains on the program for today. Let's let you know that the views and reaction of all our resource persons are theirs and have no connection with TVC. Up next is Your View with the Ladies. Afterwards is This Morning with Yori Folari. Stay safe. Bye.